Welcome to the Opinionated Aussies.
Woo! Grand Final day! Woohoo! Alright, welcome back everyone. It's obviously, we're recording on the day of the Grand Final, so we don't know what's going to happen tonight, and you'll be hearing this the next day. So, if our predictions were wrong, we won't know till tomorrow.
Don't shoot me down in the comments, please.
No, don't shoot anyone down. Just saying, I'd like the Eels to win, but with how much is at stake for Panthers, being able to win every division this year, kind of going for Panthers at the same time.
But then with the Eels, we'll do a bit of NRL talk. I'll be like random stats guy for a second.
Just start this off this yeah.
So, the Eels haven't won a premiership since 1986.
Yep,
that's a long time between drinks.
That is 26 years.
I don't know.
No, 36 years.
36 years.
36 years, my apologies.
So, who's got more to lose? Penrith winning every division, under 20s, under 19s, under 20s, reserve grade. Now they've just won the, what was it? The Queensland Derby, what do they call it? State Championship. So, New South Wales versus Queensland in the respective division. Now, Penrith have a chance to go back-to-back. Or the Eels that haven't won a grand final
in over 30 years.
I don't know who's got more to lose.
Personally, it sounds like the Eels have more to lose because Panthers are riding rather high on every division. They've already had a premier in the last year, 2 years. But the Eels, what have they had? Weren't they bottom of the ladder last year?
I don't know I don't think it was last year. I think it might have been year beforehand.
So to go from bottom of the ladder 2 years ago to
they've been spooners more than what you think.
Oh, I can imagine. They were the laughing stock for so long, and now they're in a grand final with the previous premier.
Yeah. So Penrith have been. This would be their third time in 3 years in the grand final, and have won.
They've won one of them so far.
Yeah. So 2020 was Penrith and Storm. Storm won that. Yeah. Then last year was Penrith and Bunnies, and obviously Penrith won that.
Yeah.
And now this year, so they've done a good feat. No denying that. To be fair,
making it to the grand final 3 years in a row.
I can understand why the hype's about them. Like obviously, the systems that they've got in place now, you can see that from all aspects are second to none.
Oh yeah. It's not something to snub your nose at, that's for sure.
Yeah, no, that's right.
They are, quite honestly, a force to be reckoned with. Weren't they undefeated for a large portion of this season? Or was that last year, I'm thinking?
No, that was last year. I think they'd only lost 2 games last year or 3.
Yeah, so last year really made sense.
It's similar this year. They were quite undefeated in a long periods of time.
A lot of matchups, yeah.
But Parramatta were the only team to beat them twice in the regular season.
Yeah, so this is honestly a very high stakes. This is going to be a very aggressive.
But they played the first week of the finals and Penrith beat them. It wasn't by much, I don't think. I think it was only 6 to 8 points. But they, obviously.
6 to 8? Fucking low score game too.
No, like by 6 to 8 points.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they only won by 6 to 8 points, and 2 tries.
Yeah, and then the Eels have made a comeback in the finals alone.
So Penrith have had a week off in the final series. Penrith haven't, but I think that
Parramatta haven't. You mean?
Yeah. Sorry, yeah. Parramatta haven't. I just think it shows more more guts. I think more of that gritty, underdog. The bulldog in the fight.
And there's always a fan base for the underdog. Let's be real. So we're looking at it prospectively. My team didn't make it to the top 8 at all. My team were 14th, I believe you told me.
Yeah.
So the Knights didn't make it very far. So I'm all about the underdog. And your Raiders were knocked out by the Eels.
Yeah. So look, I'm still salty at that. So I was like, oh, fuck Eels, I have to get flogged.
But now
I watched the Eels and the Cowboys game.
And that was rough.
And so many calls. I was like, come on, ref, come on. I understand the ref's only one person and he can only do one job. I get that. And I'm not bashing the ref at all, so don't take it that way.
No.
But
we've stated before in previous podcast episodes, the ref is not someone you take your frustration out. He is one man doing a job, trying to cover for how many blokes on the field at a time is it? It's like fucking 30.
26.
Yeah, so near 30 people on the field he's got to keep an eye on. as well as keep an eye on like the proceedings, interchanging. He's in charge of more than 30 people on the field.
No, I get that. Like they do have a tough job. It's a very thankless position.
I know.
But just some of the calls, I could see it, obviously, watching it through a camera, and you're like, oh, fuck, he's 2 meters offside, but the rest not looking that way. So I'm like, fair enough.
Yeah.
But, yeah, just some of the calls, Cowboys should have iced the game statistically. They were a fucking better team. But just the Eels' defense on their goal line, they just couldn't crack it, so...
It's kind of like when the Raiders and the Eels game, we were sitting there, there were just some plays that were going on where we were like, Raiders should have done a bit better and should have showed. But that was the same thing with the Bunnies and who was the other team there? It was not the Bunnies-Panthers game. We're not talking about that atrocity. It was the week before. Bunnies versus Dogs?
No, that was... Dogs weren't in the game.
No, who the fuck am I thinking? Sharks! Bunnies versus Sharks, I think it was. But
yeah, Bunnies versus Sharks and Eels versus Raiders. That was
there's a lot that we have to keep in mind of the last few weeks. Hopefully tonight there will be no. Oh well, there's always going to be issues with the ref from.
There always is, but I just hope it doesn't
spill over.
Yeah. I hope the referee. I can't remember who his name is. It's not Grant Atkins. It's where was it? Team list. Actually, Klein. So
Klein. It wasn't Klein in which game was it?
I think he's the baldy-headed fella.
Yeah. He refs a lot.
Look, he is a good ref. Grant Atkins is the second, like the he's like the pocket ref sort of thing. But yeah, just I hope he sort of just puts the whistle down for a bit. Obviously, when we were watching that Rabbitohs game, there were a lot of punch-ons and a lot of flare-ups. The Rabbitohs and Roosters game, that was.
Oh.
A lot of punch-ons, a lot of flare-ups. I just hope that doesn't happen tonight. I hope the ref just sort of, to a degree, lets bygones be bygones and, hey, boys, take it out on the field. Pull them apart, but, hey, pull your head in. None of this hide dog shots and shit like that. Yeah, if you're going to do a dog shot and hit them around the schnoz with your fucking forearm, then yeah, go for 10.
10? Some of them are lucky to get back on the field.
Yeah, well, a lot of them are getting sent off. Tane Milne for the Rabbitohs whacked someone around the schnoz and got 6 weeks for it.
Yeah.
So some are fair enough. I just hope the ref just puts his whistle in his pocket for a little bit and just lets the game flow on. Just to make it a bit more enjoyable, The fuse is going to fizzle out somewhere. It doesn't necessarily need to have the refs call.
No.
We've seen that in Origins and stuff like that, where the ref sort of put his whistle in his pocket for a little bit and let the game go on, and that tension sort of fizzled out.
Yeah, a rivalry between the states is obviously going to be more than individual teams.
Well, we're the only country in the world that values our interstate rivalry more than our international rivalry.
Yeah, but that's because we view a lot of countries as a bunch of idiots. We don't really see the point in getting into it with them. We as Australians probably look at Russia.
No, I'm talking about sports.
Oh, in sports.
Yeah,
we look at England in the tests.
Yeah.
In the Ashes, and we don't even see them as that much of a threat compared to our interstate rivalry, which is
but especially NRL. You've got the state of origin. Is every kid that grows up in Queensland or New South Wales or even Victoria wants to play Queensland or New South Wales, whatever colour they bleed. I bleed blue, or I bleed maroon. And even us as consumers of the sport or spectators, we value that rivalry so much more than our international games.
Oh yeah.
Our international games are on at the end of the season. They start in 3 or 4 weeks.
Shit, really is close.
So there is a hype about it, but in that sense too, we're always going for the underdog. But Queensland versus New South Wales is, to a lot of younger kids, is more than playing for Australia. Yeah, it's an honour to play for your country, but a lot of them love the nitty gritty that Origin provides and want to get into it.
Oh yeah.
So, anyway, what's your prediction, Adrian, and your final score?
Fuck. The problem is, like I said at the start, I'm kind of batting for both teams because I'd like to see both teams win for different reasons. The Eels, obviously, because of the fact that it's been 36 fucking years. They've lost a game in the finals already to the Panthers, and now they're getting their final rematch for the year in the Grand Final. That's a lot to consider. There's a lot going through all the players, the coach, the coaching team, everything. There's a lot batting on them and in their heads.
Well, actually, just going to stop you there. Fun fact, Mitchell Moses, the halfback for Parramatta, last week, his daughter was born 4 hours before the game.
Ooh.
He missed his daughter's birth for the game. His nan had died a week previous. He still went out there and gave it his all. So, you know, a lot of people talk about sacrifices. You know, in my line of work, you know, you talk about sacrifice of family time, all that sort of stuff. But to miss the birth of your kid
And the death of your nan.
to play the NRL, I mean, he's had no time to grieve. He's had, you know, no time to mourn a loss, but he's had no time to celebrate the little joy in his life, you know, his little girl, whatever.
In a nutshell, the field is where he's mourning for these family passing and the celebrating of new family in his life. That's fucking... Hang on. Off NRL. That is some fucked up timing right there. One person leaves the family. The next week, oh, here's a new one.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool in a way as well. I mean, that's not nice to lose a family member, but for someone else to be born a week later... The only thing that would be, like, weirder, I guess, or more mind-fucky than that is someone in your family passed away, and that day, another one was born.
Yeah.
That's some fucked up shit. But
That's what happens around the world. It is, with every death, there's a birth. So,
yeah.
I get that.
But if it was in your own family, that's very restricted.
Yeah.
But the reason I'd like to see the Panthers, that's a monumental win tonight.
Like I was talking to you a bit off air, it's the first time ever in history, if the Panthers would win tonight, that single team has won every division of football.
Right. So, my prediction, I'm giving this a lot of thought, and as much as I want to say...
Use your whole 2 brain cells, man.
No, the third one kicked in as well.
Oh, shit, now you know it is serious.
Yeah. Sorry, Para. I'd like to see the Panthers win. However, because of how much is riding on the Eels to win as well, this is not going to be a close game. It's not going to be a far-off game. It's not one-sided. They're going to win, and bear with me, 1 conversion.
So 2 points.
2-point win.
So what's the score going to be? 10, 12, 8, 10?
The problem is the problem is these last few weeks have proven that these final games have been rather high scoring. There's been at least 3 tries or 2 tries per team every game on the bare minimum. But the bare maximum, I mean, look at the Panthers versus Rabbitohs game. That was fucking stupid.
Well, see, even in that first half, Penrith would have had 5 tries.
But
Three of them got disallowed. One of them shouldn't have been, but that's anyone to argue. Aden will argue with me with it. But anyway,
that's neither here nor there. We're not talking about last week now. This is now our predictions.
That's this week.
24-22.
Ooh, okay.
Mainly, this is so that each team gets 4 tries.
Yep.
And the Eels will miss that last conversion. In fact, I'll go one step further. The Eels will be the last to score a try.
And miss the conversion.
And they'll miss the conversion.
Ooh, isn't that a fairy tale?
That is, I mean, lately I've been looking a lot of dramatization and all that. There's nothing like getting that extra hit of drama to make something much more enjoyable.
I don't know if we watched it, but 2015, I think it was, the Cowboys-Broncos Grand Final.
Was that the one where Mark Hunt dropped the ball?
Ben Hunt. Yes. So that's when Jonathan Thurston had, they just scored in like the 78th minute or something. He had a kick to, going over, I think, leveled the score up, and he had a kick to win it. This is the longest Jonathan Thurston's ever taken a kick. It was like 90 seconds or something, take this kick. He's kicked it, and he didn't look up specifically because you
He
sort of
didn't want
follow
to
through.
see. He didn't want
He
to
looked
see.
up as it hit the post, and you could just see his headgear. He ripped off. He goes, "Fuck!"
The pressure got to him. The great JT and the pressure got to him.
I don't think it was the pressure. Like he hit the post. It wasn't like it was off and fucking kicked it yonder. It was fucking just missed,
Yeah.
They kicked off to.
And like I said, the reason I'd like to see it that close is because there's so much riding on both teams.
Yeah.
There's a lot at stake for Eels to finally get the grand final in their belt again after over 30 years. But winning every division and making history, that's not something the Panthers are just going to bend over and take sideways.
Oh, no, and they've proven they haven't.
No.
Yeah,
And I'm not a Panthers fan. If anything, I'm neither fan of these teams. I don't like either of them to any degree. They're just... And I don't hate them either. That's what makes this more difficult for me. If this was a grand final that I'd originally predicted a fortnight ago, where it was Rabbits versus Eels, I would have loved to have seen the Rabbits win again, if I'm being honest. But they just didn't show up last week after when the second half started.
Yeah.
So,
speaking of football, hi Trent. If you're going to watch this, Trent's just sent me through some lovely photos of him at the Opera House and him at the Sydney Harbour Bridge. He's down at the grand final.
fucking, there's his old man. I think that's his old man.
So Trent's going for Para. Go Para.
Go Para.
What's the score?
Before I ask you for your predictions, I just want to point out this one thing, right?
Yep.
Now, we all do this. We're all guilty of it, in a way. But you don't buy the merch of a team you don't support, correct?
No, not necessarily.
Unless you're buying for someone else.
No, not necessarily. Depending on how much of a diehard fan you are.
Right, so...
If you're a diehard fan and you've got, for instance, Broncos fucking memorabilia up the wazoo from the heydays, you know, back in the fucking 80s and fucking whatever.
Back when the Broncos were good.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. You know, if you've got all that memorabilia, you won't ever buy, you know, a Para jersey, for instance.
Yeah, okay, so...
But me, as someone that's an avid lover of the NRL, yes, my main team is the Canberra Raiders, and, you know, I will continue to support the Canberra Raiders, but for the sake of if someone was hosting a NRL barbecue, whatever, and I would go out and buy a Parramatta scarf or something, you know.
Yeah.
I wouldn't buy a jersey. I'm not going to drop $170 on a Parramatta jersey just, you know, once. If I was going to the game, if I was there watching the grand final live,
that might be a different story.
I would probably wear it, you know, because you could get it signed by players or whatever and have it as a memento. Hey, I was at the 2020 NRL Grand Final. You know, something along those lines.
Yeah. Now, the reason I bring this up, now, you know where I work at the Grace Smith shop. There's a lot of NRL merch.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to say this with the utmost confidence. We rarely sold the Parramatta Eels gear. We sold more Panthers than Eels gear out here, right? So when it was clear that the Eels were going to the grand final, we went through our merch like no one's business. There was fuck all left. And according to what I'm able to gather from what I've heard, these are people that have never bought any Para gear before. These are people that have never shown up before.
Yep.
Right? Now...
So they're the bandwagon.
Yes, they're the ones that showed up because their team made it to the final.
Well, it's not even that. It's, you know, it's like, for instance, people that watch the Bathurst 1000, right? To put it in another motorsport.
Just something else that we can go to.
People fucking drive an Audi and work at a Japanese auto manufacturer and fucking, you know, love a Chinese-built car. Will go to the Bathurst 1000 and put on a Ampol Red Bull racing team jersey, t-shirt, polo, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Because that's the in thing. And, you know, Red Bull Racing have been, you know, up there in the motorsport, in Australian motorsports, for quite some time. So people jump on the bandwagon and go, yeah, go Red Bull, yeah, sweet as. But you know they're not a
fan.
That's right. A lot of people will just jump on the bandwagon, and that's sort of what's doing my head in with a lot of these Penrith supporters. Everyone's coming out the woodwork because Penrith have had a couple of good years. Fantastic fucking years, if I'm honest. But they're coming out, yeah, go Penrith. I'm a Penrith supporter. Yeah, fuck yeah, Penrith. And it's like, where were you 4 or 5 years ago when they were just out of the top 8, when they were sitting 12th to 14th on the fucking ladder? You were mighty quiet then, weren't you?
I mean, look at me. I'm not a huge NRL supporter. But if I support a team and I can get the merch, I will get the merch if I can afford it. I'm not going to go spend $70 on a jersey because I personally...
That's just a t-shirt, bro.
I know. That, to me, I would never buy... If I was going to a game, might be a different story. But to be fair, I don't know if I'd ever go to an NRL game of that caliber. I don't know, because it's not at the point where I can go to one.
I'd love to take you to one, actually.
I would love to go to... Don't get me wrong, I would love to go to one, but it doesn't mean I know I'm going to one. If I know I'm going to one, then yeah, buy a jersey. Boom. Yeah. Got my Knights gear ready to go. Even if it wasn't my team at the game, I want to be seen in the crowd supporting my team.
Random South guy.
Yeah, but my team got 14th, and yet this year I still bought the bar mat for the Knights. I got a mat, and I got a bathrobe.
Yeah.
I still show my support, even though my team, quite frankly, sucked. And I can't say it any other way because I had higher expectations, but I still showed my support. Where even if they had gotten the wooden spoon, I still wear my dressing gown proud. Yeah. On the days where it's nice and chilly because I don't give a shit. It's my team.
Yeah, that's right.
And
but I guess that goes. But we'll get onto that. But it sort of brings up another point of just. Consumerism. I wonder if that's a word. I don't know if it is. No, but
consumerism is the word.
You know, it's like me wearing this t-shirt.
Yeah, that one's all about.
It's the Shaka project.
Yeah.
You know, it's a different thing to the NRL. Obviously, it's a mental health. What's the word I'm looking for?
Men's mental health.
No, it's mental health, but they focus on men's. But it's foundation, I guess the words.
Mental health foundation.
Yeah, something like that. You know, you buy something because of a cause and you believe in it.
Yeah.
You know, I guess that goes back to the NRL. You buy a t-shirt or a jersey or some sort of memorabilia because that's your team and that's, you know, who you're proud to wear. Same thing with wearing a fucking rainbow t-shirt, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's you're wearing something in another sense that you're proud of. So,
all right, let's move on from that.
But yeah, with your question, I mean, if I'm going to the game, yeah, I probably would. But if it's like a team I despise, I guess, like I don't know, for instance, the Roosters or something, or
hate the Roosters, do you?
No, I don't hate them, but you know, I'm not a big fan of the Roosters.
Yeah.
If it was a team that I wasn't really barracking for, I would go for the opposition.
Oh yeah.
You know, I don't know if the Brisbane Broncos played the fucking New Zealand Warriors or something like that, and I was down in Brisbane, I'd buy a Broncos shirt, jersey, or something to show my support.
I don't know. Have you seen the Warriors play against Broncos? It's kind of
You throw a dartboard and you go yes or no.
Pretty much, yeah.
Whoever wins.
Weren't the Warriors like really good a couple of years ago?
Yeah, they were a few years ago.
What the fuck happened to them? What happened to you, New Zealand?
I don't know.
Anyway, let's move on from that. We've done mine. Your prediction.
Right.
Because you're kind of in the same boat I am. You don't know who to bat for because of how much is riding on both teams. And you know the stats better than I do. So you can make a better judgment than me. Although you kind of got really into mine being so dramatic. So who knows?
So I'm going to predict... I don't know whether I go high or low game. But I'm going to go 21-20.
Oh, fucking golden point.
Yeah, no, well, not golden point. I think someone is going to slot a field goal in the first half if scores are locked. So say it's 6-all in the first half. It's one converted try each. Someone is going to slot a field goal.
So who is it that's going to do it?
Mitchell Moses is going to slot the field goal for the Parramatta Eels.
You're batting for the Eels to win.
The Eels are going to win, in my mind, 21-20. Mitchell Moses is going to be Clive Churchill. Which is the MVP of that game.
Yeah, I know what the Clive Churchill one is. Fuck, that would make Moses' fucking month, wouldn't it?
So, yeah, that's my score and my predictions.
Fuck, right. I can feel my asshole tightening from how close that is. That's, God damn you, you took my drama thing and you made it better. Fuck you. No, in hindsight, both of us kind of got... Mine's batting on the stress getting to one team. Yours is pre-preparing to get that 1 point lead.
Well, if it's one thing I think a lot of teams can take away is everyone and journos and stuff go, Parramatta beat Penrith in the regular season, 2 games in the regular season. Yeah, that doesn't mean shit. Penrith beat Parramatta the first round of the finals. So, Parramatta obviously didn't learn from their winnings because they didn't win. They won during the regular season. Penrith took a long look of going, okay, this is what we done wrong during them games. This is what they done right. Let's right our wrongs. And that's what they done. And, reverse card. We fucking win, bitch. So, I think that loss the Eels had to Penrith really, it didn't sting. Obviously, it stung to a degree, but it didn't.
Well, they had an uphill battle.
Yeah, that's right. I think what they've done is done a bit of soul searching, I guess, in another sense, and have looked at what they've done wrong and what they've done right, and I think they're going to play to their strengths tonight, and that's why I think they're going to win.
Okay. All right, you know what? Either way, it's going to be a close game because we're both of two minds of who's going to win, but for very different reasons.
Yeah. I just love, even when the Rabbitohs won, I think it was 2014, when the Rabbitohs won, we were actually out here watching it.
Yeah, was it 2014?
I think it was. Aden will correct me in the comments.
Yeah,
but anyway, I'm pretty
Aden.
sure it was 2014. Yeah. And, it was the first time they'd won in, God, how many years? I don't know, 40 or 50 years or something.
It's a bigger gap than the Eels last
it was a long time between drinks. But in that time, the Rabbitohs didn't get the wooden spoons as much as the Eels have in these last 30-odd years.
Seeing the Eels come back from a shorter dry spell, right, but having more wooden spoons since their last one, that would be... Yeah, that would be really good. I don't know. See, at the end of the day, there's a lot riding on both teams.
I just love the underdog story. That's why a lot of people gravitate towards the boxing movies and UFC movies and shit like that is because the underdog story. Yeah, and that's what a lot of your fucking cat is mental.
Sorry. So for those of you that are listening, this is the first time we've done this in a while. We're recording outside, nice cool breeze. It's actually just finished raining. You might have heard a pitter patter on the roof. The cat of the household is currently up on the roof gutter above us, and
just doing its thing.
I think Mufasa's voice is playing. Everything the light touches is our kingdom. Oh, and also that he goes up there quite frequently. Once a day he'll go up there. Because it's how he used to get out. You see where...
in the corner, yeah.
Yeah, ever since I boarded that up,
yeah,
he can't get out. But he keeps going up there to keep seeing if there's a way out. Also, it's in cat's nature to have a high ground. This is not a Lion King reference, by the way. Cats absolutely love being up high because they feel safer.
Adrian?
Yeah, that whole block, he can't get out. It's got a wood board over it.
Oh, it does too. I couldn't see it, the reflection.
Yeah, he's too fat to fit through the gap.
Oh, fair enough.
So
it was a good thing having a fat cat.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's our predictions. Do we want to sway off of NRL for now? Because
Yeah, sure.
Fucking mother's laughing in the background. I think she heard you. Good thing you have a fat cat. So, besides all that, as you have noticed lately, Aden hasn't been with us a lot. Now, we don't want you to think that Aden's no longer a part of the podcast.
He still is, but, if you can still remember our very first episode, we said Aden was going to be a guest. He's not permanently on the podcast. Aden is just a guest. So
and there is something I think this would probably be one of the better times to bring it up. Aden and Jordan are going to be doing something next year anyway. You just keep an eye out for that one.
You know more than what I do. Unless
I thought you and Aden were
I've
doing
probably got a
something.
mind like a sieve.
Aren't you doing something called Over the Black Dot or something?
I don't fucking know.
You don't know? You don't even know if that's
I
happening?
probably am, but I don't think I've
You don't think it's
organised that
registered?
with Aden.
Yeah, so this is just very early works. You can keep on out for that one. Other than that, I do have a plan on how to get Aden more involved with this one, even as just a guest, even when he's busy. Starting next week, I'll go over it with you after the podcast.
Oh, okay.
But I'll try to get Aden back in a little bit more, and because let's be real, Aden adds a certain dynamic that we don't, which is
A bald head, 5 foot tall. What other dynamic do you want? Nah, Aiden's good.
Aden has some opinions on certain topics as well that's different to us.
Yeah.
And I want to try to keep this diversified. I really make it sound like this is my podcast, even though I've actually missed an episode as well once.
Yeah, so have I.
Yeah, you've missed more than me.
Yeah.
But in saying that, this is something that I'd like. This is something I wanted all three of us to be a part of, as equal as possible, I guess, is the word I'm looking for.
Yeah, but...
Because there's something I do have to credit Aden for. He's the one that designed our logo, and it's grown on me. You know, much like how he hasn't, it has grown on me. So I'd like to keep Aden as involved as I can. And, yeah. Other than that, that's all. I just wanted to let you know that one, because it just didn't feel... What's the word? Didn't feel right that we didn't at least bring up the fact that Aden's not part of the episodes as much.
Yeah, but yeah, Aden's also a guest too. I mean, at the end of the day, I still want to try and get, I don't know, quite a few different people on as our 2023 goals, I guess.
I'd like to keep our audience growing so that we can get slightly bigger names. You know, ones that have a lot more input in certain areas of the field that we briefly touch on here and there. Like, it'd be cool to get some experts in here and there.
Yeah.
But at the same time, let's keep grounded in reality. Let's just get through 2022 first before we make our 2023 goals, eh?
But it's not just that. Like, I would love to sit here and debate with anyone and everyone. So if you're listening to this and you're up for a debate, doesn't matter what topic, you give me a topic, I'll pick a side and we can debate something. It's just something like that. I'm all for having good lengthy conversations and actually...
You're down for constructive conversation that has decent criticism.
Oh, well, yeah, it's not just that, but you learn so much more. You can't just sort of have this one-track mind of it's my way or the highway, or, if you're very far right or far left, God is the only way. No, God's dead, fucking whatever, I suck God's dick. Whatever you fucking think of.
Suck God's dick. That's not one I expected today. I woke up. I'm like, I'm gonna have a decent day, and then you come.
Did you wake up with God's dick in your mouth?
I can't even come back from that. That's just one that I'm not going to come back from.
You can come back. Just spit it out.
Yeah, no recovery there. Oh, fuck.
But, at the end of the day, it's obviously not going to be our last episode of 2022.
No, we're not stopping.
I guess future plans on is, if anyone wants to join in on the Discord and not so much, fucking like in typical American high school debates. But if you want to sit there and like, I believe in X, Y, Z, and I'm like, yeah, cool. I don't necessarily believe in X, Y, Z. Let's sit down and have a practical conversation about this. No one's going to change anyone's opinion, but...
No, because there's too many opinions out there to change.
Opinions like arseholes. Everyone's got one.
Yeah, it doesn't mean it's right, but...
Yeah, that's right. But,
but then again, what's right is also dependent on the situation as well.
Yeah.
There's morally as well we got to keep in consideration.
What someone thinks is right is what someone thinks is right, and if that's your core belief, then that's your core belief. So be it.
What
I'm trying to say is, at the end of the day, I want to have, random Joe Blow come on and be like, "Hey, I believe in X, Y, Z." Yep, sweet. I don't necessarily believe in that. All right, sweet. Why don't you believe in that? Oh, because of blah, blah, blah. Okay, why do you believe in that? Oh, because of blah, blah, blah. All right, sweet as. Cool. Everyone's good. Everyone's happy. Let's have this fucking nice big open discussion and let's all come to agreement. Yay, life!
It's kind of like what I would wish would happen with like the left and the right in the States alone, because they get into it so much. Like, we here in Oz, we're not as,
Politically charged.
No, we as a country, as people, kind of look at our politics and go, bunch of useless idiots, useless cunts. And, that's our own right. But in saying that, we look at American politics and go, equally, just as useless.
Yeah.
And then you look at some of the debates they have over there and it's like, why the fuck is this a topic? Like, I get that there's a lot that the American people need to keep in mind because they have a lot going on. They're supposed to be like the foreground. They're the example of a functional democracy.
Huh.
And then, time for me to get a little bit picky. And then they pick someone like Biden. And Kamala Harris. Like, fucking hell. I don't like either of them. And I'm not really someone that's on a side. I think the left could have picked better, personally. That's just me, though.
Well, look at this, right? I'll tell you this. Open up your fucking left. If you're an Australian, follow this with me, okay? Open up your left or your right hand. Open it up. Have a look at your palm. You see 3 lines on your palm?
Yep.
Yeah. Americans don't. They have a gun.
Touche. I give you that. And that being said, I'm not here to talk about the politics. I'm here to talk about how this, the main reason we started the podcast originally was to talk about topics, situations, ideas of the world, put our opinion forth. Hence, it's in the title, opinion. Did the thing. And our opinion, and we stress this a lot. Our opinions don't matter in the long run. We put them out there. If you agree, you agree. If you don't, cool. Why?
Yeah, that's right.
Like, we're not here to tell you you're wrong. Unless it's certain things, like, we believe a lot with children. And children don't need a lot of the shit that happens in this world to happen to them. So, when children are brought into it, we have a strong opinion that we will never probably change on. Because we believe in the safety of our children and safeguard their future. Whereas other people in the world don't. And we think that they are awful, evil human beings as a result. Keep that in mind. But there are other things that we look at. For instance, when we talked about, I think it was episode 5, where we talked about the depths and mysteries of the ocean. And my opinion was very strong in that. Everyone else's wasn't. And I was okay with that. Because the ocean is not a topic that you need to be very defensive of.
When it comes to things like 2 + 2 = 4, I guess that's something that we can all agree on going, you know what? That is correct. 2 + 2 does equal 4. Because that is a matter of fact. But if you say my opinion is 2 + 2 = fucking 6, okay, explain to me why it equals 6 because I want to understand how your brain works.
And then there are other times where they'll say that and you just go, you're an idiot. But if it's I'll tell you what, if it's ever 2 + 2 = 6 and it actually turns out to be a very mathematical thing, never will be because that's way too simple of a thing. But if it's something that sounds simple, has a simple solution, but actually is very complicated with a complicated solution, and you explain it, and we understand it, cool. We get you.
Like if, for instance, if you're a flat earther, jump on the podcast. Let's talk about it because at the end of the day, I would love to know someone's theories on why the Earth is flat.
To be fair, though, there's always a lot of conspiracies going on out there in the world. The main thing that makes me believe that the Earth is not flat is when I've been flying and when I've flown overseas and you look out the window and you can see the curve. You can literally see the curve. I can't believe the world is flat because of that. Like, that's just me. And there are a lot of flat earthers out there, and believe me, this is a rabbit hole I dived really deep into that, and I'm not a part of. And I read it and I'm like, oh my God. And some of their reasoning, if they don't have that one thing that helps them see the curve, they're never going to understand it, and they're never going to think otherwise.
Yeah.
So it all comes down to a matter of experience and perspective. Both of these things are very important when it comes to every opinion out there in the world. It also comes down to what they know is fact, right? There's clear-cut, undisputable fact, and then there's, in the age of modern technology, which I'll get into this a little bit more before we carry on, is that the age of technology has brought about an era of fake facts.
Yeah, misinformation.
And
I think COVID proved a lot of that.
And not just COVID emphasized it, but this is something that's been happening for years.
I'd nearly say amplified it, really. It really just pushed a big agenda that not necessarily didn't need to be there, but like, even just me scrolling on TikTok, 2020, 2021, that's, it was worse in the States, but like in Australia, we had our freedom protesters and shit, and it's like, what are you protesting? Because you've got to wear a mask in a hospital, or just stuff like that. We're doing stuff now to stop the curve and stop people from getting sick. Like, our hospital systems are so overrun, it's ridiculous.
Oh, I mean, take it from someone who's only just heard about getting their first surgery for a medical problem not long ago, and I've been waiting since May.
Yeah.
So our health system is in shambles, and there's nothing we can do
You
about it.
talk to a lot of ex-nurses or retired nurses and stuff, and before the main reason why they retired was because they were so overworked and undervalued. Like, you're helping save someone's life, for instance, and you're so unappreciated on the fact that you've just helped this man come out of cardiac arrest, and he's put a mask on or whatever, and I don't fucking want to wear a mask, I'll just fucking come out of cardiac arrest. Yeah, but you possibly could have COVID too. You were seizing when we got you. Something obviously not as simple as that, but
there's a lot going on.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. There's a lot riding on their shoulders, and it's a thankless responsibility.
Where it shouldn't be.
It shouldn't. Like, when the guy that rang me about my first surgery, he was talking to me, and I made it very clear that I appreciate the fact that he's taken the time to actually call me, let me know what's going on. Finally, I said the finally part because it is a bit crazy how what I've got has taken this long, but at the same time, I'm not stupid and oblivious to the fact that it has to take this long.
Yeah, well, it's not life or death.
It's not life or death at the moment. Like, if it ends up becoming a life or death situation, it's because it developed to that point.
Yeah.
And
which you'll get seen immediately. And, with our healthcare system in Australia, it'll cost you nothing.
It'll cost me nothing.
Oh, mate, it might cost you, I don't know, fucking $100 for TV service in your room while you're recovering, or something, along the lines of that.
That is why I pack my Switch.
But you know what I mean. It'll cost you next to fuck all.
Yeah.
Actually, speaking of a TikTok I seen was an American living in Australia. I don't know whether she was like an exchange student or something, but she was over here for athletic reasons. Yeah. Anyway, she was early in the morning. She was running. I don't know what sort of athletics she does, but she was running, and she noticed her chest was getting really tight. She's asthmatic, so she went into the chemist after she was running and got a Ventolin puffer.
Yeah.
The asthma puffers.
Yeah, like the one you used.
Yeah. And it cost her, I think it was like $8.40 or something, which is about $5 American.
Yep.
In America, that would cost upwards of $100.
Holy.
The exact same puffer.
Holy fuck.
And she didn't need a Medicare card. She didn't need anything. She explained to the pharmacist, hey, I've got this condition. I need a Ventolin puffer. Pharmacist, yeah, righto, what's your name and age? And so I could put it on the thing and on the sticker and put it on the puffer so it's yours. And yep, $8.40, and she walked out. She has never been so relieved to have somewhat of a healthcare system.
I mean, our healthcare system is actually pretty good. I will not lie. I mean, despite its shortcomings,
everyone pays for it. I mean, look, I pay for it more than anyone else, being on the salary that I am.
Yeah.
I pay quite a substantial amount of Medicare. Yeah. But that's not what riles me up about that sort of stuff in Australia. No. I think I might pay $2 or $4 grand or something, I think, per annum out of my pay for Medicare. Comes out of my tax. But I feel blessed to be in Australia rather than being in America. Like, a child in America can cost you upwards of $10,000. Now, if you're, I want to say a single parent, for instance, but you've had a one night stand and your belief is you don't want to, I don't use this term loosely, get rid of the child, and you do choose to have a pregnancy with that child, how the hell are you going to afford that birth? In America, if you have, I know cancer is very out there, but like if you have a fucking infection on your knee and it turns fucking ganglion and fucking you chop your knee off or get antibiotics or whatever, it can cost you tens of thousands of dollars of a hospital stay in America, and in Australia it might only cost you fucking $50. We're lucky we live in Queensland where our ambulance rides are free. I know in New South Wales, I'm pretty sure you do have to pay for the ambulance.
I'm pretty sure that it's changing soon here in Queensland, if I remember correctly.
I'm not sure. But as far as I know back when I was a child that we had to pay for the ambulance cover. It was, a couple $100 to have the paramedics called out to the incident I had when I was at primary school.
I believe what it is nowadays is you get one free ambulance ride a year per person.
Yeah.
So they keep you on record. If it comes up that you've already had an ambulance ride in that year, then you pay for it.
Yeah.
Or, sorry, you cover for it.
Yeah.
I believe that's what they said. I'm lucky I've never actually called up the ambulance this year. Because if my condition gets worse and I need to go, I still get one free ride. Other than that, I think everything else you said is spot on. I'm trying to, because obviously because of everything going on with me, I have to get a lot more in tune because I haven't needed to. The only thing I knew before this was GPs, if they were bulk billing, you just had to show your Medicare card. It was all good. Mental health, you get a certain amount of free sessions.
Seeing a GP now, depending on what the GP charges Medicare, because you can go into your Medicare app only talking from my experience, I don't know everyone's doing, but you go into the Medicare app and you can actually see how much they charged Medicare for your visit. Now, when I was seeing my doctor in Brisbane, we was charging Medicare like $80 a visit.
Oh.
$79, $80 a visit. Up here, when I saw the same doctor while I moved back, he was charging Medicare like $40 a visit. Now, granted, I haven't found a good GP since I've been back. I don't particularly want to travel 6 hours to see my regular GP, but if I have to, I have to. You know what I mean? In the grand scheme of things, if you got to do it, you got to do it.
Yeah, I mean,
just because I can do telehealth.
That's what I was.
But because they're not the newest of GP clinics, they can't do like email you scripts and all that sort of stuff.
Okay.
Not that they can't, but they generally won't. They're just not up to date with the technology we have.
They're old school.
Yeah, pretty much. So when it comes to mental health visits, you are allowed 8 in a calendar year. You're allowed 8, and then you have to go back to the doctor for like another referral for the next 2. So you do get 10 free psychologists, psychiatrists, whatever you want. 10 free mental health visits with a professional per calendar year.
Yep.
So, you space that out every 6 weeks, give or take. You get your 10 per year, and that can roll on every year depending on whether you need it. If you go to your doctor after your 10 and go, you know what, I'm still not 100%, I would love another 10, sweet as. No dramas, we'll keep you organised with the same person, providing you click with them. I've been and seen fucking everyone you can think of. Psychologist, psychiatrist, psychotherapist, fucking therapist, fucking you name it. I've pretty much spoken to everyone.
Yeah.
And there was only one person I've clicked with, and that's down the Gold Coast, and he was the one that drives to you.
Isn't he the one that started you off on anger management?
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't angry, but he said, you're not angry per se. He said, but this course allows you to understand how you're feeling and what you're feeling. And so, I was like, yeah, right, sweet as. And first couple of lessons, I was like, this is fucking shit. Till he actually sat down and said, no, here's some homework. I want you to think about this in the next 6 weeks and jot it down and note it down. Holy fucking changed my life.
Yeah. You ever since I think that was your third session you had with him, wasn't it?
Yeah, something like that.
I think because I remember because we were living together. Your mental state was very noticeably changed after it clicked. Like obviously the first few it was very noticeable, nothing changed.
Yeah.
But then there was one. I'm pretty sure it was your third. It just boom, different mindset, different perspective, and it's like holy. And you even like have a read of it. So I went through it like every time. You got something new to read. I would read bits and pieces of it, and I'd be like,
I actually gave him to Aden. I don't know if he still has them. Aden, if you're listening, fuck, give them back, man. Jesus, I missed them. But anyway.
What, the pamphlets and the
the booklets, yeah, they're like fucking 20, 30 page booklets, each one.
Aden, when you come up, bring them. Drop them off to me. I'll make sure he gets them.
I'll message Aden about them, actually, because I completely forgot about them. Because I said to him, oh, yeah, bring them up. And yeah, I'll find them. He found them. And then I didn't ask for them and forgot about them. And just, shit happens. But
you can't do that this time. Because you never know. You might need them and all that.
Yeah, that's right. They're just good to just go back to.
They help keep you sane.
In a sense.
In a sense. I mean, you're not losing your mind over anything right now. You're just going with the motions, really. So... Oh, cat's back out. So that's all that. Medical health system, our health system, thankless positions, really need to change that. Like I said to you, I actually made the guy that rang me, the urologist, I made him laugh his ass off. Because at one point he's like, don't worry, there's a very low chance of anything going wrong with this procedure. And I remember sitting there, because I was walking back to work, I was on the phone, I'm like, I'd hope so. I'm putting myself in your capable hands, and I'm trusting you with my life here. And he laughed. Like, usually, and I said it as a joke, because, it's who I am. I like to lighten the mood if it's something very serious.
Yep.
And, this was a guy that I had not heard laugh at all before this point. He had not made any jokes. He was cordial.
Pretty serious,
He was cordial, but he was serious. And... then that happened, and I could just feel the tension on the other end just disappear.
Yeah.
He's like, this is someone I can be a lot more cheerful and happy and jokey around.
Yeah.
And it's like, works for me. If you're nice and calm, and then when you get to the point where you need to be serious, because, by then I'm knocked out, I can't distract you.
Yeah.
I can't talk your ass off then. But it was just something, it just felt nice to be able to make someone who's in a very tough position. Just relax.
And you just make the day. That's my sort of thing. At the moment, I guess I'm being extra nice to everyone, but I'm generally nicely gestured and please and thank yous and mannerized very well.
You're not as much as a cunt.
Oh, still I'm a cunt, but
nowhere near as bad.
When it comes to the people, the staff at the KFC drive-through, or the checkout chick at the pharmacy or something like that, you don't need a fucking. Hey, how was your day? Oh, alright. You don't need a fuck conversation with them. But walk up. Hey, how you going? Yeah, good. How are you? Yeah, no, I'm good. How's your shift been? Yeah, no, it's been not too bad. Oh, that's good. You make somewhat of a conversation. Put a smile on their face for some fucking however you can.
Mine's not
you just
elaborate as yours.
Yeah. But obviously this is all whatever it is. But you just put a smile on your face, and you don't open them with your, welcome them with your arms, but you're just like, hey, have a good day, or wow, did you just get your hair done, or your eyebrows look really nice today. If the female, even if male, you give them some sort of a compliment because, just like us men, and I use that term very loosely and whatever.
Yeah, cheers.
But we don't get compliments a lot.
No,
as a male, generally you don't get compliments a lot.
No.
So when someone actually compliments you, you hold that quite close.
And then
now, not saying it's not every male, and I'm not getting into the gender debate, but I'm just saying, just as a rule of thumb, most males don't get complimented a lot. So when someone says, "Oh, you look good today. You look nice wearing that smile." Oh, fucking thanks, makes your day better. So if you can say that to someone, a checkout chick at Coles or Woolies or whatever, and you make the day, you don't necessarily need to be flirty with them and hit on them and make them feel uncomfortable. But, you know, you walk up to them, hey, how's your day? Yeah, no, it's good. Oh, what happened today? Or, you know, if they had a shit day, oh, what happened? Oh, this customer. And you sort of talk shit about this customer for 30 seconds. And, you know, you tap your card or swipe your card, whatever. Say, oh, you have a good day. You know, and say it sort of like you mean it. You know, you want them to have a good day. Not say, oh, have a good day and walk away. You know, you look them in the eye, have a good day. Or I hope you have a good day. And working from customer service back when I was a kid, I never got that. Well, not that I can remember, but, you know, if someone said that to me, fuck, I'd break down in tears. You know, nowadays, if I was in customer service and someone said, I hope you had a good day, or I hope you have a good day, look me dead in the eyes and said that, I'd just fucking break down.
I can vouch because depending on where I work, because as you know, I work at 2 different locations for this one job, right? Yeah. One job is very thankless in a way. One store is just, I go there and I basically have to get into the mindset of,
yeah, pack your Winnie Reds, mate. Yeah, fuck off, dickhead. Yeah.
Funnily enough, Winnie Red is not the most thing they ask for. It's the cheapest red.
Yeah. You know what I mean. It's the guy that's got one tooth and he's got a fucking 4 and 20 pie.
Now this is the one. If it's someone that's missing teeth, guaranteed it's a White Ox smoker.
Yeah, pouch of White Ox there, mate.
Yeah, pouch of White. Yeah, give me the big pouch there. That's how it goes. Whereas the other
job, $52.50. These are going up 75 cents. I can't afford that.
$52.50.
I'm just fucking putting a price
world
out
are
there.
you in?
I'm putting a price.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Oh, these are going up 75 cents. That's fucking ridiculous. Yeah, mate, they're on special. Oh, how come you didn't say it? Well, mate, because we're not allowed to advertise specials.
Yeah, actually, yes, we are, but not verbally.
Oh,
you have to look. So with tobacco shops, this is for those of you that smoke. If you go into a tobacco shop, legal one, by the way, we'll get into this. I'll get into this afterwards. There's always these cupboard doors that cover up the smokes because it's illegal to
show the cigarettes.
Yes,
yeah, show the products.
But you always notice that there are stickers, right? And people normally assume that these are just the best priced ones, right?
Yeah.
They are the specials. They are all the specials, right? You'll be surprised how many specials are actually running at any one time in a tobacconist. Now, I'm not going to get into the nitty-gritty of it because I'm not sure I'm allowed to. But guaranteed, it's always in an order as well. It goes from 20 packs all the way down to tobacco pouches. And they are always specials, right? The cheapest smokes all the time are always on special because they get bought that much, right? And yeah, but now I'll go back to what I was saying. So one store is one that I'm not very thankful for. It's very rude and very blunt. You get a couple of good ones in, like anywhere. Like there's always a couple of good ones that come in and they make you feel a lot better. Yeah. But at this one particular location, 80% of them, no.
Yeah.
Fuck all. Then there's out here, where 20% of the customers are the unthankful, ungrateful, rude, blunt cunts. And then you get the 80% other ones. And they're the loveliest customers I've ever had at any customer service job I've ever had.
Yeah.
And this isn't just because, you know, they're older, because a lot of smokers these days are of the older generation, older than us. No, these are just regular Joes. I have some fellas that come in, even someone we went to high school with that we don't particularly like.
Yeah, I know.
Yep. He came in, lovely.
Yep.
He was very nice to me. And I remember him back from high school, never got boo from him. Never got fucking any cordial, like anything whatsoever. But he was very nice. And I just, okay, it must just be the location. But there's a couple that come in and they make me feel so much better about my job because they always say, you always do a good job. I love it when you're here. You make us laugh or smile or whatever. And it's like, hey.
yeah, that's right.
And so I started adapting my own thing. Like what you said, you like to make small talk, making them feel better. What I do is a little different when it's not, you know, doctors and whatnot, trying to make them less tense. It's the everyday thing. I say to them, you're doing a good job. I'm very happy that it was you that served me. That, if you remember what was on customer service, you hear that would blow your fucking mind.
Oh, yeah, no, it was. It's like when I went into Autobahn in Rocky. For privacy reasons, I'm not going to name his name, but, you know, walked in. I'm like, hey, look, man, I've just been over to this other place that specialises in car audio in Rocky, and they said they can't do nothing for me. I said, would you be able to just help me out? I'll just chase a sub and amp and whatever I need. You know, if you want to do the install, I'll gladly. You guys professionals, you do it every day. You can do the install. He comes out, he looks at the car. 10 minutes, you know, he goes, oh, righto, you need X, Y, Z, 1, 2, 3. Oh, yeah, sweet as. He goes, oh, this line's connected to here, and this is your power, and it's already hooked up. All you need is just a sub and amp, and you're way to go. I'm like, oh, righto. I said, what you've told me in 10 minutes is more than what I got told in an hour and a half being at this audio specialist. He goes, really? I'm like, yeah. He goes, oh, I just love it, you know, this sound and audio, so I do, you know, I'm just doing my job. All righto. And he goes, I can order this one out of Brizzy. It's not going to be here in time for you to go back out to work. And I'm like, yeah, right. I'm a pretty impatient sort of person. So do you have anything in store that I can walk out with today? He goes, yeah, this will do the job. He said, it's not as punchy and won't make your car rattle. He goes, but if you're just looking for that extra bit of kit, yeah, this will do the job for sure. I'm like, righto, sweet as. I said, do you get commission on any of this work? He goes, sadly, no. I'm like, you fucking should. So, because they were an old customer of mine when I was in my service rep position, I went up to the, what's name, the boss that was on, the shift boss. I'm like, hey man, this guy's just done a fantastic fucking job. Can you praise him of some sort, put in a good name for him, or, you know, give him a $50 gift voucher, or, you know, employee of the month or something. I said, I know I can't tip him. I said, I wish I could. I'll give him a 50 right now just for the customer service he showed and fix a problem that no one else wanted to look at. And he goes, yeah, no, I'll definitely put it in the books. You know, he's done an awesome job and definitely get some praise for him. And, you know, whether they do like team meeting barbecues and shit like that. I said, yeah, no, he fucking deserves it. You know, shit like that. And it's not going to happen with everyone in every industry. Not everyone's going to have a fucking good day. Not everyone's going to have a bad day. But if someone's going to go above and beyond, for you as a consumer, I do think you should do something right by that person. You know, he helped me out a fuckload and taught me more about my car in the sound and audio sort of stuff in 10 minutes more than this audio specialist did an hour and a half. So when it comes to that sort of stuff, I do honestly think you just try and give back. You know, even if it's fucking, hey, can I tip you fucking $10 or whatever? If you got the cash in you, if they can't accept tips, yeah, right, I swear as. Let's do something else. You know, if someone's going to go in the customer service field above and beyond for you, you know,
try to do what you can.
Yeah, that's right. You know, if you're at work or whatever, and I didn't fucking know you, and we sat there and had a good chat, and I'm like, oh, when was the last time you had a break? And you're like, oh, I haven't had a break yet. Oh, righto. I'd go to fucking Brumby's next door or something and just grab you a fucking pie and deliver you a pie and be like, hey, you know, you done a fucking good job for me. I come in, didn't know what I want, and you helped me out with X, Y, Z, whether it's, you know, giving up smoking, so you got me on a couple of vapes or whatever, sold me some merchandise, that was your last merchandise, whatever. You know, shrew your leg out for me. Yeah, I'll return the I'll go buy you a fucking pie from Brumby's. You know, shit like that. Not a lot of people do it, and you know, I know some people will take that in a different way. So you know, you've got to pick and choose your times. But you know, if someone's going to, I guess, in a sense, pay it forward to you, then pay it forward to someone else.
Yeah, exactly right. Well, I actually don't know how to progress from here. Fucking hell. As you probably guessed, this is actually more of a just a chat episode, I guess you want to call it. We're just talking. We're not really debating.
No, I mean, look, if you want to debate with me on something, then I'm more than fucking happy.
I know you are, but the thing is, there's nothing I want to debate on. Like, after last fortnight's episode, where we were kind of negative Nancy a bit towards some products that we probably would love. Like, I look back at it, and I'm not going to change my opinion on anything I said in that episode, but it's like I wanted a bit more positivity near the end because I like putting some of it in every episode because we do.
Yeah.
But last week was kind of just, no.
Oh, well, flip switch, turn your frown upside down. What's one thing in the last fortnight, since we've done an episode, what's the last thing in the last fortnight that's turned your frown upside down?
personally for me,
Oh, it's in life, anything or anything.
there's two things. I'll go for the nerdy one first, just to...
Yeah.
So, as a giant nerd and also a fan of the paranormal, I play the video game Phasmophobia on computer, for Steam specifically, and it's all about the ghost hunting and whatnot. And I don't think I've ever told you, it's only a team of 3 that work on it. It's a very small team.
Oh.
Right? They just released this biggest update ever. Reworked the biggest map in the game. Reworked the difficulty to be able to make it a custom. And it's something that I've personally taken a shining to. Like, this update has probably been the best one they've ever done. The biggest one they've ever done too. Because it took them 6 months to do this one map.
Yeah.
Right? Let alone everything else they did. They even threw in a new one, a small new one, just for fun, right? And I've been playing that with good old Joe, old boss Ethan, Devon, Devon's mate Will. It's been fucking fantastic. And admittedly, when I play with Ethan and Joe, sometimes they just do stuff that get on my nerves, but all in all, it's been a very fun time. I've actually been smiling a lot because of it. And, you know, I'm kind of a grindy person with some of these games, so when you get something that can increase the amount of money you get, of course I'm going to fucking smile.
Yeah.
It's gonna...
I've been doing the same thing with Giant Lighters.
Yeah.
XP farms and... You know.
I also looked into your thing. Shut up, Bixby. That save file, the second one that had 140 and then the first one had 120.
Yeah.
It turns out that that's combined, the top one. Because it's a new game.
Yeah.
So you've only played 20 hours.
Oh.
Apparently. That's what I read. I saw it and I'm like, I'll look into it. And it makes more sense.
I don't know, to me, because I've been playing it a lot, so...
It's possible it's 140 at that time.
Well, as it stands right now, I think the last time I loaded the game up, because it sort of just loads straight back in the screen, I'm going back to that main screen, it was like 178 hours, and that was like 3 days ago.
I saw you on Wednesday. What'd you do Wednesday night to get that many fucking hours? It's not possible.
Well, what's today?
Sunday. Fuck, I forgot what day.
Yeah, no.
Saturday.
I think it was like 148 hours.
Okay, so it's gone up a bit. But that being said, there was the other thing that's made me smile this week, and this is between you and me. I don't know if Devon can hear me. Devon's got a new job.
Oh, good stuff.
He got it today.
Yep.
Literally, it made me smile today. So Devon went in for an interview at 10 o'clock this morning after going to a party last night. He came home at about 11:30.
Yeah, right. So he had plenty of sleep.
He had plenty of sleep. He went to the interview. He came back. He kept walking because our mother knows the restaurant manager.
Yeah.
She came in and said to me very quietly, "He's got it. He gets an official call on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Starts next week." I'm like, yes. But the thing that made me smile about that so much is because where Devon and I used to work together, he was very afraid to get a new job. He actually told me in confidence, right?
Yeah.
He's very afraid to get a new job. He didn't want to be put into another toxic environment.
Yep.
Because he never showed it, but it fucked him up pretty badly. He was afraid of always losing his job. He was afraid of always being yelled at. He was just afraid. And
I was like that. My first job out of high school.
Yeah.
I never wanted to leave it until I just, not a light flip switched. That was backwards, but anyway, you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, not a.
Yeah. It's just a moment that happened. And I went, you know what? This other opportunities come up. I'm not guaranteed the job, but fuck it. For an extra $10 an hour, I'll take it.
Yeah, exactly. So he's going to be on 10 to 15 hours a week now.
Yeah.
Compared to his 6.
Oh yeah.
So he's already got more money coming in starting soon. And he talked to me about it. And I remember specifically telling him, look, you're going to find jobs that have toxic work environments for you. Then no job is permanent.
Oh yeah.
Like, if you can get a job that you can stick with the rest of your life and it's not toxic, fantastic. Take it. Ride that bull.
Yeah.
Right? But he asked me why I wasn't really affected by it. And first of all, I was barely there, so it never really bothered me. But the other thing was I was working 2 jobs. I went from one toxic environment to a good one. It never bothered me because I was immediately recovering from it. It never got to me.
But even when, you go into work, I understand where he's coming from. It's his first job. He didn't know any better. If this is what a workplace is going to be like, then fuck, I don't want to be part of it.
That's exactly right.
Which, I'm like, that's fair enough. But, when you get out of there, it's a weight lifts off your shoulders. You can see the light at the end of the tunnel and you go, you know what? I'm a better person for actually sticking that job through. It fucking sucked. But, at the end of the day, you just got to treat work like work. You can't take it home, and someone of his age, and I was the exact same, you can't take work home, you can't take home to work. If you do, it's not a good cycle, it's not a good ending.
No.
So for him to leave, and he'll probably he's going to be in a better position. Don't know how much better, can't say, but he's going to be in a better position. He's going to go, wow, this is actually a job that I like doing. This is great.
Yeah, and that's what made me really happy, because all of it in the long run, he's going to be better off.
I mean, everything happens for a reason. Yeah, and I get that. Some reasons are not so great. He got the pointy end of the stick, but rather him doing it now and, in a sense, getting it over and done with, and I use air quotations for that.
Yeah.
But getting it over and done with, so you know what you want to expect with your job. You can say the same thing with a relationship. You come out of one toxic relationship, you go, right, now I know what I don't want in a relationship. I don't want my next one to be like that. And if that person, male or female, goes, starts showing them toxic traits, you go, you know what? I'm sorry, I'm just going to cut you off there. For me, you're a walking red flag. See you later.
Yeah.
It's going to hurt that other person because they're going, I'm fucking fine. But they've also got to understand that you're not the right person for them.
Yeah.
You can polish a turd as many times as you want. It's still going to be a fucking turd.
I love that line.
It's
a good line. You're not wrong. But yeah, those are the two things that made me smile in this last fortnight since I last saw you. Technically, there's a third, and it's very minor, but it's the fact that I actually... This is going to sound cheesy. It's the fact I actually got to spend a little bit of time with you as well twice this week before today. Because you and I we weren't spending a lot of time together.
No, I'd come out for the podcast for a couple of hours of the afternoon.
Yeah. And last fortnight was the same. You were out here 2 days in a row. It was real good. And I understand that you have your own life. You don't have to spend time with me.
Oh, no, even the same. I even said to Mum about it. Me and Mum had a bit of a D&M the other day, and I was like, it was just refreshing going out and didn't have to worry about doing the podcast or whatever,
Just did what we did.
We just come out, we watch the footy, we have a few drinks, we loosen up, have a good old chat, get fucking everything off your chest, and you just stop all that pent-up bullshit that's inside your head, and you just let it out. Sometimes it can just be verbal vomit.
It's cathartic. Fucking...
Yeah, big word.
Yeah.
Me don't know the meaning of it.
I was trying to pronounce it right, and I think I fucked it up again. But it was just...
It's a breath of fresh air. Just to come out, have a few drinks, Obviously, alcohol isn't everything for everyone.
It's not the be-all, end-all to have a good
that's
time.
right. And if you don't need alcohol to have a chat, then good on you. If you need a couple of beers to loosen up, then good on you.
I mean...
that's you. Just don't abuse it.
I mean, just look at me. I mean, I'm not really supposed to be drinking, and yet I still did because... I hadn't in so long, and I hadn't with you in so long. Like, before, the last time you and I had drinks before that...
Oh, that was months ago.
Yeah.
It was months.
By then, I'd become very accustomed to drinking alone.
Yeah.
And that's fine in your own right. You can do that as much as you want. If it helps you unwind and helps you, de-stress, de-escalate...
Yeah. Well, see, I was reading a post from one of the old boys that I used to work with. He won't listen to this, but Aden, I used to work with him. He's a truck driver when I was in Brizzy.
Yeah.
And, a lot of people used to ask him, why don't you have any hobbies, Why don't you play games or, fucking after work smoke weed and relax? And we both know it's illegal, but some people just say it, whatever.
Yeah.
And he's like, you know what? I'd rather just be out the back watching my kid play on the trampoline or whatever, having a smoke and having a beer. He goes, that's my way of unwinding and relaxing.
That to me, and this might just be me starting to show my age and my wants at this time, but that's something I can get behind.
Yeah, that's what I. Yeah, fair enough. If you're going to abuse it, then fair enough. Fucking call him out on it. But I think a couple of beers. I'm in the sort of industry now where even after work, some of the boys at work are like, "Oh, we're gonna have a couple of beers tonight." I'm like, look, I can come and have one or two, but I'm gonna be asleep by 8:00, so I can smash back a couple of drinks and have a yarn with you. But I'm gonna be in bed by 8. So. I know some boys out at camp, they won't have dinner. Most of them don't eat dinner, so they'll go back to their room. A few of them will meet up, have a couple of beers, unwind outside their room, have a bit of a yarn. Oh, yep, sweet as 8:30, 9 o'clock. Let's go home. Let's go to bed.
Yeah.
Which I don't see the problem in that, because it's a couple of beers a night. If you're gonna drink fucking 8 to 10 beers per night on your days out at work, then why?
I mean, there's one point there that you brought up I wanted to just touch on. They don't eat sometimes? How the fuck?
Half of our crew don't have dinner.
That's, to me, they don't eat breakfast. They eat breakfast, I'm guessing, but
so
they don't eat dinner. So they have one meal a day.
No.
Oh, they have...
So your crib, what we call it.
They have
crib.
crib.
If you know what crib is, then you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. To explain it, crib is kind of like...
it's your miner's term for smoko and lunch. You don't say, hey, I'm going for smoko, I'm going for lunch.
You go
so
for crib.
I'm going for first crib or second crib.
Yeah. And so they have crib, they have breakfast, but they don't have dinner.
Yeah, so one of the boys that generally just sits in my car, we get along, he's a couple of years older than me. You wouldn't think so until he takes his hat off, but anyway. Good old Nick, he won't be listening to this, but he's got this big fucking bald patch right here. And you'd think he's only 23, 24, until he takes his hat off, and you're like, wow, you are 30.
Is he 30?
Yeah, something like that.
Fucking hell, the way he's talked about him before, he doesn't sound 30.
No, he's old. But anyway.
He's got the heart of a fucking 20-year-old. There you go.
But, so he'll go in for breakfast, have breakfast and a cup of coffee, whatever.
Yeah.
Grab his crib, so he'll have first crib, which are generally ready-made meals or meals from the night before, spaghetti bolognese or... curried beef and rice or whatever.
So long as it's cooked good, I wouldn't give a fuck myself.
It's fucking nice. We get really good food where I am at camp, but he'll have breakfast and essentially have 2 meals. So 10 o'clock and then 2 or 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock he might have a bit more. He might have that plus a salad and a muffin or some fruit or something. So it has quite a big second crib, and that'll do him until the next morning.
Yep.
Where, I know some people will finish work. We finish work at 6 o'clock. We don't get back to camp until the best part of 6:30, 6:40.
Yeah.
Some people will go to the gym and then smash a protein shake or something, go to bed. That's some people's life. You choose to go to the gym, you choose to go to the gym. I personally don't want to go. I'm not going to lose sleep while I'm at work to go to the gym. So
personally for me, when all my surgeries are done, my plan is to actually go back to the gym. Not what we've got out here. I'm going back to the gym.
Yeah, I know. That's my plan. I've been putting it in works too. What's today? Sunday. Yeah, probably tomorrow. I don't know which one I'm going to. I'm tossing up between Good Life or Snap Fitness. I haven't been to Snap Fitness, so I don't know what it's like.
But you have been to Good Life.
Yeah, which I don't mind Good Life. But yeah, I just wouldn't mind Snap Fitness. It's something different. It's an average Joe's gym. There's no pressure on me to go out there, go to the gym. And, like the gym I used to go to, I felt quite pressured to, because it was a predominantly powerlifting gym with a lot of powerlifters there, big burly men, could lift could lift a house. Yeah, that was...
that was one near your old work.
Yeah, next door to my work.
Yeah.
So I felt pressured to do anything and everything, I considered myself weak if I used machines, for instance.
That's kind of how I felt at Rockhampton's World Gym.
Yeah,
in a way, because there was a lot of big burly dudes, and here I am trying to just do my best, which is nowhere near them.
Yeah.
It would
And
set
sometimes it, looks you get, they look at you and like, oh, you really going to do that? But, I know you shouldn't give a fuck about what other people think. And you shouldn't. At the end of the day, you shouldn't. But that's where I want to go to an average Joe's gym.
Yeah.
Reference fucking dodgeball.
But
go to an average Joe's gym, so that way I don't have to put the pressure on myself to, deadlift 140 or 150 kilos like I used to. Yeah, it'd be good to hit my PBs again. Don't get me wrong.
I mean, to be fair, I'd love to hit my PBs again too, especially with my chest workouts.
Yeah, but if you go to an average Joe's gym, I don't find that there's
no pressure.
That pressure, yeah, and that's sort of what drove me away in the first place. Obviously, it was my training partner as well, but
thanks, Aden.
No, it wasn't Aden. It was who I used to go with work.
I know. If he listens to it, I'm trying to shit stare him when he's not fucking here. It's not hard to do, don't get me wrong. I mean, Aden he's not
even
the same.
fit himself.
Yeah, he's not even fit himself anymore. He doesn't go as often as he used to. I don't even think he goes anymore.
No, he still goes fucking every day.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, no.
He's just not as fit as he used to be. He's kind of sort of let go a little bit.
No, you should see him now. He's fucking...
Has he put himself back in fit shape, is he?
Yeah, he looks good.
Okay, because I remember there was a point where he was talking about how he put on some weight. He wasn't in shape as much as he used to be. And I remember seeing photos of it, and it's like, damn, he really did let himself go a little bit. Married life does not suit him. But now, if he's gotten back into shape, then...
Oh, yeah, no, he's doing well. It's... I guess... After you get married, he's got... Other things are priority. It always happens in...
Happens with everyone.
Yeah, exactly right.
Some priorities will change.
Yeah.
You won't be as committed to certain things. And
so,
It's like getting into a very serious relationship that first few years, because you'll be more focused on improving your relationship than anything else.
Yeah. But also, in saying that too, I do believe that you need to improve yourself in order to improve the relationship. You can't just put all your eggs into the relationship basket, because what if the other person is not? I know that's just me being skeptical, but you've got to think of it in two minds. I want to put most of my eggs in this basket, but I also want to improve them myself. Because I'm not the same person. Say you're dating someone for 2 years, or you're in a relationship for 2 years, you're not going to be the same person in 2 years' time as where you were when you first met.
No.
So you always want to be growing and evolving yourself. And, the other person will grow and evolve with you. But yeah, so that's sort of my point is I just want to get back into the gym and start being a bit healthier minded. Out at work in the last days while I was out at work, I didn't overeat like I usually do. I see all this fucking nice food, fucking spicy pork ribs and lamb shanks and you fucking name it. The only time I will overindulge myself is Saturday night, which is steak and pizza night.
Ah, beautiful. The best combination.
So I'll grab some wedges and I'll grab a couple. It's not like actual round pizza, but it's like square and a tray pizza.
Kind of like what you get from Woolies.
No, it's squares, rectangle. So they make their own dough and toppings and stuff. So it's sort of, I don't know, from me to you long, from here to you long, and about yay wide. Each slice is about yay big.
It's so that they can feed a bunch of blokes.
Oh, yeah, definitely. So, I'll grab a fucking garlic and cheese, one piece of that, and I'll grab a couple of pieces of fucking meat lovers and 2 steaks and, a fucking tongs full of wedges and some sour cream, Oh, it's Saturday night's fantastic, and it's our hump day too, so it makes it even better. But that's probably the only night that I'll probably overeat, and then they do a fantastic array of desserts, whether it's ice cream or jellies or cakes, assorted cakes like Turkish delight cake or chocolate mud cake, shit like that. I'll generally overeat on that. But last week, apart from Saturday, where I didn't have dessert but I overate, I limited myself to what I was eating. So, I've gone, instead of filling my plate right up with this big amount of food and get through it, I'd have half the portion and still be full. Not fucking bloated and, I feel sick. I only eat what I could. My eyes weren't bigger than my belly. And, I noticed I wake up in the morning, I wouldn't have a sore guts, probably very TMI, but I could shit a lot better. You know, I just felt a lot better and happier doing that. And, you know, even during what I take for crib, I literally just had fruit and chicken Caesar salad all week. Because I would just do Caesar salad, so, you know, lettuce, bacon, croutons, cheese. And I just grabbed some shredded chicken and some Caesar dressing. And boom, that was my lunchtime. I'd have that with mandarin or an orange and an apple. And that would be me for the day. It wasn't heavy, so I didn't sort of feel, oh shit. It was light, it was refreshing. And I tell you what, it's the fucking best week of food.
I mean, that was me. That's been me lately, what I've been doing. Like, I'll give my breakfast for this morning as an example. I just had some simple crumpets this morning, just a couple crumpets. As soon as I finished it and cleaned up, I went over the fruit bowl, grabbed an apple, just chugged down that fucker, and finished it all off with just simple cup of coffee and then some water. Like, very small stuff, like the crumpets weren't the best choice in the world, but it was breakfast.
Yeah.
And the apple was kind of the healthy side of it. Because I was sitting there afterwards like, I'm still hungry. Looked at it, I'm like, I could have a banana, or I could have an apple. Grab the apple.
Yeah.
Kind of like you with the mandarin sort of thing. That little top-up of...
I generally do grab them. Like, if I'm going what I used to when I was grabbing, like, my stuff for smoko and that, I would just grab one anyway, but I wouldn't eat it.
You'd have it later on when you felt peckish.
Oh, no, I still wouldn't eat it all day.
Oh.
Yeah, I know, I'd just grab it, because I'm like, oh, I'll probably eat it. Come the next day, I'm like, fuck it, I don't need it. I don't feel like it. So I'd go in the bin, it'd just fucking wasteful. So, you know, now if I'm going to grab it, I'm going to eat it.
Yeah.
And, you know, especially in the afternoon, you know, it's 2, 3 o'clock. I'm not hungry, but I just want something other than water. So, yeah, I'll just grab that. Bit of vitamin C, bit of citrus.
Yeah. It's why, now, this will go a little bit into another topic, but it's why I'm a big fan of a certain type of apple. That's the Pink Lady. They have a lot of juices in them. They're so good. Like, I don't, like, a lot of people probably are like, oh yeah, I'll just have an apple. Apple doesn't matter what type it is. But to me, it does matter.
Yeah.
Like, you got Red Delicious, you got Granny Smith, but yeah, nah, I've never been a big fan of them. There's no juice, I guess is the word.
The only apple that I will only ever eat is Granny Smith apples.
Yeah.
I just like them because they're sour.
Yeah.
I like sour things.
Yeah. I like the Pink Lady because they're sweet.
Yeah.
They're sweet, but like I said, it's just that little bit of extra liquid, I guess. Because they're so nice to munch down on.
Just to go back on our NRL, sorry it's an hour late, but Trent said Para by 6.
He reckons Para by 6.
Yep.
Right. So you've got Para by 1, I've got Panthers by 2, and he's got Para by 6. He's got a lot more faith in them.
yeah.
I mean, I am looking forward to that. When is kickoff? Kickoff 6:30.
Yeah, I think the women's playing at the moment. Should I just get into?
I hope you don't mind as well. I'll probably be on the computer for a bit after we finish this.
Knights 18-12.
Knights.
Yeah,
the Knights made it to the women's finals.
Yeah. I think the Knights were undefeated.
I think that's what I heard. That was the last I'd heard of them, because as I don't want to sound misogynistic.
Second round, third round.
Yeah, I don't want to sound
No,
misogynistic.
they lost. So they won 3, won 4. So 4 out of 5. They won 4 out of 5 games coming into the finals.
Yeah, I don't want to sound misogynistic, but I've never actually watched any of the
Women's AFL. Well, I was going to watch it, the Grand Final. I generally watch Grand Finals, whether it's AFL or WAFL or WNRL or whatever, but I just like the Grand Final. It's the best of the best. But, yeah, no, it's funny. I think Parramatta Eels in the Women's League only won 1 game, and that shot them because they won by 14 points. That put them into the top 4.
fuck.
So they won.
Fuck.
And then coming into the finals, they only play a semi-final.
Yep.
And then it's a grand final after 1 win. How's that?
That's fucked.
It's different, but yeah.
Hey, if it works, it works.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I don't. If the WNRL's on, I'll watch it.
Yeah. It's just a
but
shame.
it's not something that I 100% follow.
Yeah. You watch it if it's available, and you have the time. Like today, the only reason we're not watching it is because we're doing this.
Yeah.
And it's not really a bad thing, I guess, because it's not something we follow, I guess.
Yeah, look, some people are avid WNRL lovers, some people are avid NRL lovers, you know, some people are fucking... it's a bit backward. I'm not fucking watching that woman's game, it's fucking shit, rah, rah.
Mate, have you seen some of the tackles they do?
Yeah, exactly right. So, it's them sort of guys that I'm like, you pull your fucking head in.
Okay, so there's a category for some of those blokes, apparently, called incels. The typical male that are looked down on. Right? Typical white male, specifically. And that's something that's been coming out in recent years. It's a very derogative term for a white male. Yeah. I've only just heard of it recently. And someone online thought I was an incel based on my thing. And I've read it up and I'm like, mate, I know women that can put me in the fucking ground. I have more respect for them than I do for you right now.
Yeah.
So you can take your incel comment, write it on a piece of paper, wrap it around a fucking metal pole and sit on it.
Yeah.
And, like, to be honest, yes, it triggered me because once I found out what it was like, fuck you. But at the same time, it was so new to me, like, we're no stranger, you and I, to derogative terms of individuals of certain ethnic backgrounds, genders, whatnot. But now they've got one for white males. Whereas before it was just called white males.
No, it was called a cracker.
Yeah, cracker. Or fucking whatever. Now they're called incel. And it's used, a little political, it's used by the American left a lot.
Yeah, but it also goes back to if you're going to act like it, then yeah.
Yeah, like...
If the shoe fits.
But the thing is...
I'm not saying... I don't know the situation, but I'm just saying, like, if you were, I guess, being very hateful towards women or whatever the comment was, I don't know.
Yeah.
But, you know, someone will throw that out just in the chance to trigger you. Or, you know, if you were acting that way and I'd say, you know, if... I saw it. I'd put your fucking head in. You know, you're better than that. But it's not just Caucasian men that get called incels. It's sort of anyone that's, I guess... I actually thought it meant the opposite. I thought it was like someone that sort of puts men back to praise women.
Yeah. See, there's a lot of different definitions I've read. The one that was being used against me was the very derogative one. But I guess if you're going to go with a general consensus, it's incels are what are known as nice guys.
Well,
there's a lot.
According to Oxford,
of course,
a member of online community of young men who consider themselves unable to attract women sexually, typically associated with the views that are hostile towards women and men who are sexually active.
Nice guy.
Yeah, so you've got the nice guy.
Yeah, but now they've got their own term, incel. Yeah. And yeah, someone
look, at the end of the day, like, not throwing shade on you, but like, if the shoe fits, then fucking hell.
Me, I couldn't give a shit.
Yeah, I know, but if you're gonna be, how can I put it? I guess it's sort of when OnlyFans come out. I guess it sort of was my mentality. Oh, fuck, women doing fucking online prostitution, rah rah.
I mean, that was mine too, don't
you? Yeah.
It was only until that
but
episode
I'm not speaking for you.
Yeah, I know, but in this context, I was the same until we actually did that podcast episode. So
yeah, I was, oh, fuck, sex work isn't real work. How fucking hard is it? But then you put yourself in their position.
And then you look at it. Yeah, you actually open your eyes and look into the nitty gritty of it and like the reasoning and all that. Now, the only reason I brought it up is because it's a very interesting one. And it was something I was going to bring up with you out of the podcast, but I'm like, it's here. Well, I might as well fucking keep going. And we keep hearing all these derogative terms throughout our whole lives, you and I, right? we've used some in our heyday, you know, when we didn't give a flying fuck. And
Yeah, call someone a faggot and all that sort of shit.
And then we grew up a bit and we're like, that's not right. Yeah. And now we're hearing all these new ones coming out. There's a bunch of them. And the problem that I'm seeing with it is it used to be from people of different races, of genders, and now it's coming from different political stances. So my question to you, this one's going to be right, is politics really getting to the point where it's getting very hostile, that like more than ever before? Because
no, I just think it's getting more publicised.
You reckon?
Yeah, well, you look at fuck, I don't necessarily agree with her, but you look at Pauline Hanson. Told someone that's fucking Australian citizen, but I don't think she was born here, moved over here when she was 2 or something. Told someone else, if you don't like it, go back to where you come from. Piss off back to where you come from. Now, look, everyone in Australia knows who Pauline Hanson is and knows what sort of a nut job she is.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? And
yeah.
To tell someone, I can't remember where she, Sudan or India or something like that, to piss off to back to where you come from. It's like, yeah, I may have been born there, but I'm an Australian. So I've been here since I'm 2. I've got just as much right to be in Australia than fucking you do. So, you know, if that was never, you know, if that parliamentary hearing was never publicised, then we wouldn't have known. You know, we wouldn't know what goes on in the parliament.
No.
And I guess that's because we don't keep up to date. I guess Trina would have a bit of an insight on it, but we don't keep up to date with it or anything like that. So we only consume what the media throws out.
Exactly.
So I generally don't think them sort of words are being used in a parliamentary standpoint. Not here in Australia, at least, anyway. America could be different. We all know America is a third world country with a Gucci belt.
Fuck.
Need I say more?
Nope.
You know,
nope.
How backwards it, you know, if Donald Trump was elected President of the United States, I sure as shit reckon fucking, if we were America, Pauline Hanson would be elected by Australia.
Oh,
or
hell.
fucking Clive Palmer, or, you know, some fucking backwards fucking ding dong.
Yeah.
You know.
There's a few. So the thing that I've always stood for with politics is I will vote for them if I believe they're what's good for the country, right?
I'll vote for them if they pass the pub test.
If they pass the pub test, then fucking oath, I'm voting for them. But
you know, if they can walk into a pub and someone will sit down and have a beer with them,
vote.
You know, that's I guess what Australia, the land of convicts, was built on. Not
the best example to give, Jordan. Try again. No, at the end of the day,
technically correct.
At the end of the day, if they never step your foot into a pub, then what else are you going to go on? You have to go off your gut.
Yeah.
So,
but you know, if they pass the pub test, you know, I guarantee if Anthony Albanese was to walk into just about any pub in fucking Queensland, he'd probably be. So, you know, I don't think anyone would fucking throw anything bad at him.
Yeah, but then
if
again,
fucking Clive Palmer or Pauline Hanson would go to a fucking pub in Longreach, I guarantee she would get fucking booed out. Or on the other hand, depending on who's there, because a lot of fucking, I'm not going to say rednecks or hillbillies, but a lot of country folk agree with that side of the politics.
So here's how you divide our. If you're going to compare it to like the left and right of America, this is how Australia is divided. You got city folk and country folk.
Yeah, well, your country folk are more your right leaning, your city folk are your left.
And then there's us too. Then there's others like us that have been in both, and we're kind of like, this is a nice fence. I'll sit on it.
Where the fuck do I belong?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, we both kind of got the same ideals going on in majority of things. And we've both said to each other, if we were to pick a side, it'd be more towards some things, but more towards the other and other things. We don't have a side for everything.
I'd just rather sit on the fence, to be honest.
Yeah, well, it's more fun this way.
Yeah.
Because we sit back and we're like, you're all a fucking retards.
Yep.
Bunch of fucking idiots is what you all are. And we do that, we've done that for years. Yeah. But I just thought I'd bring that up. It's just something that was interesting to me. Like, there's a lot of things that are interesting to me when it comes to discussions about politics and all that. But there's no way in hell I'd do an entire episode based on politics.
Maybe it was Trent was here.
No, not even then. I'm sorry. No matter what, I try not to do an entire... I would never do an entire episode of this podcast that we do on politics. It's not something that I think we stand for. We stand for opinions. Politics can be brought up here and there because it's an opinion. We look for each other's view on it, but then we move on, right? I would never do an entire episode. Ever.
Yeah, but you're still debating two people's opinions on politics.
Yes. Briefly. I'd never do a full episode on it for one reason.
Oh, I'll sit there and argue, the left is better than the right.
I know you would.
And I'd say, no, the right's better than the left.
Yeah. To be fair, they both suck.
Oh, yeah.
But no, politics is not something that I personally think this podcast is about. It's just something that I bring up the weirdness and the stupidity of it, and just how many idiots there are out there that are in a position of power that we look at and go, really? You brought up Pauline Hanson, best example I can give from Australia. You brought up Palmer, you brought up Trump, I brought up Biden. Like, to be fair, I don't think any of them are good. No. But that's just my view on it. Whereas a lot of the topics we do, some of them can be touchy, but they're never politic-driven. People use them in politic-driven arguments, which baffles my mind, because obviously, why? At the same time, it's a very touchy thing. Like today, we're just chatting. Next fortnight, I don't know what the fuck we'll be doing, but I'm planning, if I'm going to have any say in what we talk about next fortnight, it's going to be fucking lighthearted as shit.
It's going to be politics.
No.
It's gonna be politics.
No. Like, I never want to do a politics episode.
Oh, come on.
Maybe in the future, but not for 2022. How's that? 2022, we'll stick to just establishing ourselves. I think we've done a pretty good job for our first year, if I'm being honest.
I know who the fuck I am. Who are you?
Don't know. Anyway, but I think...
it's 5 o'clock somewhere.
That's your third one. That's like your third 5 o'clock.
Yeah, it's
only half an hour away.
Poland and Germany and in Australia.
I mean, to be fair, I'm not far behind you. I found one can in the fridge. I was like, I'll have that. Anyway, I think that should do it for us today, actually.
Yeah, I'm fucking hungry.
Yeah. Thank you all for tuning in. What do you think about the NRL predictions we gave at the start of the episode? If you think any of us were right, obviously, because keep in mind, you got to keep in mind that this is the day of. So think of what it was like before the game. And if you comment on it saying, like tomorrow or whatever, saying, oh yeah, your prediction was all good and all that, but honestly, it's like, we get it. We haven't seen the game yet. Other than that,
I can't predict the future, which is good.
I mean,
would have bought myself a fucking $1 million in Bitcoin, but anyway.
I'll go for the old school. Would have bought a lotto ticket that I picked the numbers for, because you can, multi-pick. And yeah, other than that, thank you all.
Debate me in the comments on YouTube, Instagram, DM me on Instagram.
Specifically him.
Yeah, say, Jordan, you're a pig. I got a bone to pick. Debate me on this. Let's get into it.
And if you want to drag me into it, make sure it's something that I can actually debate on.
Yeah, you debate on anything.
I know you can. But if I choose not to answer when Jordan's getting right in there, it's obviously because Jordan's saying the same things I would.
Left hands are better than right hands. Yeah, see?
Anyway, thank you all again. We're going to get going now. I'm going to get this episode edited before the game starts.
Go Parramatta.
Go both teams.
Woo!
Go sports team.
Go banana.
And we'll see you all next fortnight.
See ya.